Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AZ-ZAHRA, and today I want to make a video about our discussion in chapter 5 about human research planning and retention. What I know about human research planning is the process of forecasting the future human research requirement of the organization and determining as to how the existing human research capacity of the organization can be utilized to fulfill the requirements. And about the human research retention is a process in which the employees are encouraged to remain with the organization for the maximum period of time or until the completion of the project. Employee retention is beneficial for the organization as well as the employee. And what is human research planning, and how do you plan your human research in your company? There are 4 key steps to the human research planning process. They include analyzing present labor supply, forecasting labor demand, balancing projected labor demanding with supply, and supporting organizational goals. Human research planning is an important investment for any business as it allows companies to remain productive and profitable. Can you explain the HR planning process? There is 5 steps in HR planning process. The first is analyzes the organizational plans and objective. When it comes to organizing and streamlining the human research function, you must first start by doing a complete and true analysis of the organization plans and objective. Every organization is going to function differently and have different goals. It is important to understand the ins and outs of the organization before attempting to make change to the current human research infrastructure. And the second is preparing a human research inventory. Completing a full human research inventory is the next step in the planning process. A complete catalog needs to amass that contains basic demographic data about each employee, which should include breaking down the employees by education, experience, skills, age, gender, salary, material status, and any other special training or certification pertinent to the company's operation. And the third is assessing future supply and demand. Assessing future supply and demand in human research is also known as forecasting. Forecasting is an important step in identifying your market and what change might potentially to be on horizon. And the fourth is matching supply and demand. Supply and demand affect the requirement and staffing process. A strategy by matching supply and demand is to flatten the demand by shifting demand to match existing supply. And the last is establishing an action plan. When establishing an action plan, there are many variables that need to be considered. For example, is there currently a human resource deficit or surplus in the organization? Does the company have a current plan for recruiting, hiring, educating, evaluating, compensating, and training employees? My next favorite question from this meeting is, how do you forecast your HR demand and supply? Forecasting is the process of predicting demand and supply, whether number of employees or type of skills that are needed and available to get the job done. The most important techniques for forecasting of human resource supply are succession analysis and Markov analysis. Once a company has forecast the demand of labor, it needs an indication on the firm labor supply. That's all my favorite discussion for this meeting. And thank you so much for sir, so I can get this opportunity to learn about all this material. Thank you.